Invisible spirits of smokeless fire, as mysterious as they are fascinating. Let's give the Jinn the old spec evil reimagining. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Speculative Wildlife Research Center. The Jinn, or Genie, are a type of extremely interesting pre-Islamic spirits, known for their immaterial, shifting bodies, capacity for possessing people, and for being completely overshadowed by that one time they showed up in a Disney movie. But opposed to that, let's have a look at the more classic type of Jinn. Big thanks to Alec Foisey for commissioning this episode and giving me the details for its biology. And now, without further ado, let's get started. Of all creatures that have been turned into myths and legends, those that dwell in inhospitable places tend to be the hardest to study, especially when their entire survival strategy is focused on the idea of remaining unseen. The Jinn, scientifically named Eremoctopus acapnopiros, are cousins of the terrestrial, or rather aerial species of octopus found across the world, such as the bedsheet octopus, but being native to North Africa and the Middle East. Given the challenges imposed by the dry and hot environment that is the desert, these mollusks have developed a thick skin that allows them to retain moisture and protect themselves from the harsh sunlight. And these same conditions have also led to their evolution into longer-lived animals, with many individuals studied in captivity having managed to outlive the people studying them, as well as having much fewer young that they can more easily take care of. Unlike the solitary habits of most octopuses, the Jinn will usually live in large groups composed of unrelated families and individuals, hanging together for protection. These groups, or tribes, will dwell in places far away from potential dangers, constantly moving across their habitat to avoid being found. And, like their aquatic counterparts, the Jinn are capable of squeezing into tight spaces in order to hide and rest. While in nature they will often hide inside crevices and rock formations, the presence of humans around their habitat has led to them stealing man-made objects, such as pots, jars and oil lamps, to be used as shelter for themselves and their young. Jinns retain the camouflaging abilities of many of their close relatives, produced by contracting and relaxing their muscles in order to change the texture and color of their skin. Aided by the positioning of their body and tentacles, this allows them to disappear into their surroundings, becoming almost invisible as a result, as well as mimicking other animals found in their surroundings, most commonly including snakes, lizards and scorpions. But they have also been known to occasionally mimic humans whenever they are found near human populations. They do this in order to, depending on their specific disguise, attract prey or deter predation, or simply to stay hidden and undetected. This ability to camouflage is extremely important to them since, despite their strong tentacles and potent venom, the Jinn are still fragile invertebrates composed of soft, unarmored flesh, and other large predators are perfectly capable of taking them down if they are unable to remain unseen. You might have noticed we mentioned venom a moment ago. Like many other octopuses, Jinns are equipped with potent venom glands, which help them paralyze prey before eating. However, since these cephalopods became larger and longer-lived, and preserving their life and avoiding attacks to them and their young became a much more pressing necessity, they evolved a much stronger venom that helped them take down even the largest predators. But as this venom is also needed by the Jinn to hunt, and as being close enough to a predator to inject its venom is quite dangerous in itself, the Jinns have developed a very striking warning display to scare off potential threats. If their camouflaging abilities have failed them and the Jinn have been cornered, they will use the same mechanism to shine bright red colors across their skin, extending their tentacles outwards to look as big and menacing as possible. This appearance of the Jinn, which is usually the only way humans will see them, has led to these creatures being tied to fire in human folklore. Should this warning not be enough, the Jinn will finally strike, biting its attacker and injecting venom, with the Jinn quickly escaping while the potential predator suffers from its effects. While small prey will be killed almost instantly, larger animals will be left in terrible pain, which has been reported by survivors as feeling like fire or burning iron applied to the flesh. The pain is so strong that it has been known to cause hallucinations, dissociative events, and often leaving the victim with severe PTSD. These same effects, however, would also attract the attention of humans living near the Jinn, who would collect this venom either by hunting the Jinn or by harvesting it from deceased individuals in order to synthesize different substances. Many forms of medicine, for example, have been made by diluting this venom, and in this state it has also been used in small doses by wise people and soothsayers, who claim it allows them to reach higher states of mind. We at the SWRC have chosen to take their word for it until any volunteers come forward to test it. Just like ghosts and many other species of octopus, the Jinn are very smart animals, as demonstrated by their ability to observe and copy the appearance and behavioral patterns of other animals, even showing complex problem solving as they search for food around their environment. Interestingly, they also show a great deal of curiosity towards ourselves, as well as our buildings and creations, likely a result of this constituting good hiding places for them. In areas with lower population densities, Jinn may be seen cautiously observing specific humans and may even approach if they deem the humans to not be dangerous. This has led to many individual Jinn bonding with humans, visiting them often and even accompanying them during the day. These friendly Jinn have even been known to be trained to perform simple tasks in exchange for food and shelter, or sometimes simply as a form of enrichment, something that has been exaggerated to the point of these animals being able to grant wishes in many modern stories. However, Jinn that have been mistreated may end up developing a certain hostility towards humans, preemptively attacking them if they feel our presence puts them at risk. This is most usually seen when humans stop to rest at caves inhabited by these beings, putting both species in a situation where neither can escape. And that's it for Speculative Biology look into the Jinn. As you can see, the basis for the concept of this episode was making this related to our version of bedsheet ghosts, and I can definitely see why. After all, both are famous for having bodies that can become invisible at will, and forms that can flow and change at a moment's notice, something they have in common with octopuses as well. However, given their drier environment, I took care of giving them a tougher skin to prevent dehydration, and depicting them mid-threatening display helps enhance their look. We also downplayed one particular aspect of modern Genie, that being their granting of wishes, which, despite being so prevalent in modern Western media, is not a natural part of their properties. To grossly oversimplify, this only happened when a Jinn was enslaved or otherwise compelled to obey, and even then, they only did so to the extent of their physical capabilities. They were not omnipotent, and the suggestion alone would be considered blasphemous since Jinn are supposed to be, so to speak, on the same level as human beings. Hence, we decided to have a less literal approach to this, being based on a misconception, just as happened with real-life stories of Jinns. I really hope y'all enjoyed this episode, which was a ton of fun to work on, and it seems it was a rather popular suggestion. So here's a lot of thank yous to everyone who wanted to see these beings and gave many ideas on how they could work, many of which were considered when making this episode. And of course, Turbo thank you to our researchers and research associates who support us through Patreon and YouTube memberships. And once again, thanks a lot for commissioning this episode, Alec. Remember, you too can join in if you want to see all of our creatures ahead of time and help mold them into shape. Get early looks at all of our episodes and participate in our episode polls. And you also support the channel along the way, which would be really nice. Or you can also like, subscribe, or write a comment telling me any type of creature you would like me to give the Spec Evo treatment in the show, as any of those really help the channel a lot. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time on the Speculative Wildlife Research Center.